So legislation is changing within the post-Grenfell environment quite drastically, and that's across all of the compliance streams that we're finding so far. So, for example, Amendment 2 is just about coming out with BS 7671, and with it coming out, they now have a building safety documentation that needs to be adhered to, and this building safety documentation it will apply to every block and every building that a private landlord would own. So the Electrical Private Safety Act of 2020, June 2020, came out, and this now insists that every resident who requests an EICR, an electrical installation condition report, is immediately given one. This is now set out in regulations, and this is more as to why we check not just the technical aspects of an EICR or any documentation. It is the best practice of that documentation to make sure it is legible and readable to the layman. To a tenant who has requested it, they need to be able to read the information on there and understand it, and this is why we go further than just making sure the regulations and the technical document is met. We actually make sure that it's laid out so residents can also understand this information. So the difference between knowing that you're compliant and having a certificate is the documentation that you have received to know that you are compliant. Someone telling you that you're compliant is very ambiguous. You know, it can be how you take that person at their word. When you have the documentation in your hand, signed with accreditation and the engineer's names on it, plus a quality check service that have done within that contractor, and it's also passed through a third-party contractor consultant like Clear Safety, you know that that documentation is in order and is absolutely to the regulation.